lot of mentoring. I'm a serial entrepreneur. I've been in Beijing for over 5.5 years. Formed 3 companies since I've been here, and I pretty much invest in companies that I'm involved in. But I help a lot of people by mentoring them, and I work on what we call the hard stuff. And the hard stuff is the stuff that you probably aren't doing when you start a startup, and that is working on your elevator pitch, or finding the right co-founders, trying to do it all yourself. I help you with this, and I'll have my WeChat up there, and if you want some advice, I'll be happy to help. Okay, so doing a startup is very hard. Why do you do it? Why do people do it? Well, you may want to become financially independent. And when I was your age, when I was young like most of you here today, the prevailing thought was get a safe job, get a good job, be a lawyer, be an accountant. That's not the case anymore. The world's changing. How do you make the top 400 rich list in the US? I'm not advocating doing a startup for money's sake only. I'm just saying, if you want to be successful and financially independent, well, it's not like what I did. I started my career at Microsoft. I ended up being a CEO of a NASDAQ-listed software company. I thought my dreams were done. Reality is, I made a lot of money, but the tax man took a lot of money away. I found more benefit and more kind of enthusiasm, wake up, I want to go to work kind of feeling from doing a startup. So I started a startup. People that work for other people do not typically make this list. Nor will putting your money in the bank, okay? Nor will stock market investing, okay? This data comes from the IRS, the people in the US who check people's earnings to make sure they pay their taxes. The overwhelming majority of people who make the top 400 wealthiest Americans in the US are people who started their own companies and then through some sort of exit, sell it, sell part of it, or what have you, IPO. And you just need to know this. If you're looking for financial independence, you probably need to start a company. The reason I have started so many companies is not because I can't sit still. It's because when I see a good idea, I like to fund it. And when I fund it, I start a company. It's the best way to use my funds. Now startups are a lot more popular than they were when I was young. And everyone thinks they want to do a startup. But it's important to know what a startup actually is. This is one of the best definitions I've ever found. I'm going to take you through it. Because you need to know what you're doing as well as why you're doing it. All right? So, it's a team of entrepreneurial talent. It doesn't say one person. It's a team of people who are entrepreneurs. It's not like one boss and 2 workers. It's 3 entrepreneurs. Everyone in the team is an entrepreneur. They're developing new innovations. They're doing something new. All right? And they're doing it in a vehicle that can capture that value. Okay? So someone can invest in it. And the premise is that it will grow fast and it will be scalable. We'll talk about scalability a lot today. And this comes from the guy who started Y Combinator. It doesn't really matter if you get funded. The reality of whether you're going to be a success in a startup is if you're able to grow fast. Okay? And I'm defining startup very narrowly here because that's what we're here to do today. This is the kind of startup that people will want to invest in, that VCs will want to invest in. Whether you take their money or not is up to you. Okay? The growth prospects for the company and the scalability is going to be the key factor. So, you may be a good artist. You may open an art gallery. You may think you're doing a startup. You are not doing a startup. You're doing a small business. If you buy a convenience store franchise and you open a convenience store, that's a small business. Why? Because that model is already validated in the marketplace. There are lots of stores like that. You're just doing one of them. You're not doing anything essentially new as far as a business model. And if you create one restaurant, you do well, and you open 2 more over the period of the next 5, 10 years, you're doing what we call a scale-up, which means you're taking a good idea and you're doing it a little bit better than the next guy, and so you expand. That's a scale-up. It's not a startup. Think about what you're doing and what you want to do. How many people here are either in startups or want to do a startup or are thinking about a startup? I want to see hands. That's about, no, keep them up, we're not done. So you're in or you're thinking about, keep your hands up. I didn't let you put your hands down yet. Okay, so how many of you are doing it right now all by yourself? Keep your hands up. How many of you are doing it all by yourself? Okay, I'm talking to you a lot today. I'm going to be talking a lot to you. I'm going to give you 3 examples. These are personal examples. These are companies I founded. Okay, I want to change your mind about the way you think about funding and how funding and your plan for funding has a lot to do with the people you work with your co-founders. Okay, the first company, after being a CEO of a NASDAQ-listed software company, I thought I had a really good idea. I found 5 of the people that had done the best work with me in my career, got them all together, and we each put $50K in, and we started a company. But we did something really smart in hindsight. We created a prenuptial agreement, which said if you didn't bring business to the company, every year we had the option to buy you out. So the first year is finished. 4 of us brought real business to the company. The company grew. It was better than we ever imagined. But 2 people brought no business. It's not because we don't like them. It's not because they're bad people. I'd worked with these people for 5, 10 years each. It's because they were focused on other things. They had other businesses, whatever they had. We bought them out. But this was partner funded because I knew the people that I was working with, that I would be founding my company with, and I also knew that we all had money. So that we set this company up this way. Now this is very different from the next company I founded. Okay, while we were doing RTM Asia, we noticed that several companies approached us about taking their mobile phone games to China. They had been having problems. They needed a partner to do that. We signed up 6 of them, and we helped them. We got paid to learn, basically. And in that process, one of these founders and myself, 2 people, decided we wanted to create a company to capitalize on this opportunity that we saw. At the time, China was like the 12th largest mobile phone gaming market. Now it's number 1 by a factor of like twice as large as the US, right? But not then. So we formed this company. But the difference is we had a track record. We'd already executed on 6 contracts. My co-founder was really good at, he knew games, he knew the industry, he liked games, he was a gamer. I was more the business guy. I knew how to build a team that could execute. We put a PowerPoint together, we set ourselves a goal. If we get it funded, we'll do it. We got it funded, we put our own money in, because most VCs, by the way, really like it if you put your own money in. And we started a company. So I didn't need I didn't even invite the other guys doing this business. This business continued. They don't care about games. They didn't want to be in the game business. They didn't understand it. It wasn't their thing. So we don't invite them at all. We had a shared vision, this one co-founder and I. We had a shared vision and we set ourselves up. There was a reason why we wanted VC money. Now, while I was at Yoda One doing this startup, 18-hour days, this kind of thing, I realized I moved to China because of this startup. And I realized my life was getting taken over by WeChat. And I thought, this is an amazing platform. This is well before mini programs and all of that. And I said, what if, Uber was taking off in the US, what if we could push a button and find out something we needed to know? We thought about it, and we decided to do a thing where where you can learn a language. You can have a live class with a teacher, have your class recorded, and learn something anytime, 24/7, always have a teacher. Our current waiting times for classes in Mandarin or English is less than 1 minute. So we set up a platform, but at the time we had no idea because no one was building business apps at that time on WeChat. It's pretty normal today. It wasn't at the time. And so we set ourselves a goal. We said, 6 months, if we can launch this thing and make money, we'll do it. And if after 6 months we can't launch it or we can't make money, we won't do it. Because startups take a lot of your time, they take a lot of your life. But in this situation, because of the nature of the WeChat platform, I mean, I could have just built an app. This company has built hundreds of apps. I wanted to do something completely different. I wanted to teach language in a way that it wasn't being taught. And I wanted to see if we could do it without any funding, so we owned the entire company. And I found a guy. I had to go find a person. He's here today. Where is Lou? I don't even know. There he is. I found that guy. That guy right there. Raise your hand again. I found him. He had an online English kind of sharing video training site. I talked to him. I talked to about 50 English teachers, to be honest with you. And he and I shared a vision, formed a company. Okay? So, but I didn't require him to have money because it was a bootstrap thing. And so if you're young and it's your first startup, you may not have money or you may not have a track record to get VC money. You may have to bootstrap it. Well, if you bootstrap it, that means you've got to live with your co-founder, eat the same stuff, sleep in the same place, get along with each other.
James, 2 more minutes.
It's going to be a little bit. So, founders, finding your co-founder is very important. Most of the problems with co-founders come from, our startups come from co-founders. Most of the reasons companies fail are from co-founders. Look at these examples. I'll go very quickly here. These guys founded a company together called Trafidata. It failed. The second company was wildly successful. It's called Microsoft. These guys founded a company that helped you make illegal long-distance phone calls for free in the US using a piece of hardware. It was illegal. They decided to do something legal. They founded a computer company. The second one worked. 2 people. One is good at the technical side, one was good at the sales and marketing and user experience side. These guys spent their whole Stanford time together building Google. These guys from Airbnb, they lived together in the same place for the first 3 years of the company. Okay, this is really getting to know your co-founders. This is what we recommend. This results in success more often than this. This should have failed. Facebook should have failed. Why? Because it's what I call the tag-along co-founder. All the people you had are kind of around you in your circle who are helping you out one way or the other. You bring them along and say, you're a founder, or a founder, we're all founders. And you don't have the hard discussions. None of these people still work for Facebook anymore except for Mark. If it wasn't for his personal perseverance and his determination to take the company back, that company would have died because of founder issues. So look at it from the investor's point of view. And look at this. If the team is great, the chances of you getting funded are so much higher, or the chances of the investor wanting to give you money at some point in your life. The team is great, the idea is great, the execution is great. You don't have a problem raising money, you're done. If the team is great, the idea is great, but the execution is terrible, you can't get anything done, you can't sell anything. Well then the VC, if he's smart, will say, I'll introduce you to people who know how to sell. Or I'll introduce you to people who know how to build real product, or whatever. Because you're a great team and your idea is great. Even if your idea is terrible, but your team and your execution is great, your VC will probably, if they're smart, or your angel will say, next time you do something, come talk to me, because I like you guys. Same thing here. But if the team is terrible, pretty much your options are really, really minimized. So, to wrap it up, solo co-founders fail. I believe in this. All of you trying to do a company by yourself, you need to spend time and effort finding a co-founder. There's too much to do. I suggest you work with people you know. I've had a lot of success doing that in my career, but I've also worked with people I don't know, but I got to know them really quick. If you need help from a stranger, talk to people. You need to talk about your idea, talk to people in this room today. Find out if they get your vision. Do they have their own ideas? Can they make your vision better? Do they add value? Do they do different things? Are they better at different things than you are? Okay, will they quit their day job? A lot of companies don't ask, a lot of people don't ask this question. You need to quit your day job if you're doing a startup. Maybe not today, but 6 months, probably. A year, for sure. Okay? Create the MVP together. Go in a room. Figure out how you're going to do it. If you come out of the room, out of a weekend of figuring out your minimum viable product, if you come out more excited than you went in, maybe you got the beginnings of a good team. And then try before you buy. I've written a book. I'm going to show it to you. I'm going to give it to you, all of you, if you want. Okay? It's coming out next month. That's all these things. But you can actually try before you buy. You can actually get people to build parts of your product or bring you customers and then give them equity based on what they bring to the table. There's a will. If there's a will, there's a way. Okay, so this is a book I've written. I've boiled down all these ideas and a lot more. If you want to get a free e-copy of this thing next month when it comes out, I will send it to you. I don't sell anything. This is my personal WeChat account. But I put my articles about life, about entrepreneurship, whatever, English, Chinese, everything there. I will give you this book if you subscribe. I will know that you subscribe today because that's how WeChat works. And if you're in China and you want to be an entrepreneur, learn to speak the language. Okay? It's very easy to take a trial class. It costs 1 renminbi, and you can try it out very easily. Thank you very much for your time, and thank you for being quiet and listening.